Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over the brand new Dark World gameplay with the new library card. So first off, for starters, Dark World is actually super broken. It's overpowered. It is broken overpowered. And originally when I first saw this card, I'm like, okay, does this actually make Dark Worlds that much better? Actually, yes. This deck is so insane, and I'll probably change your mind because I didn't even think this deck was like that insane. But it's definitely going to be a meta deck. Obviously, with a starter/structure deck coming out, everyone is going to be playing because it's like cheap, easy to access, right? Or just if someone wants to play something new, right? So anyways, Nibiru comes out, hits 5 cards, and you probably won't even think that this guy got Nibiru'd over here. So watch what happens. So basically what it comes down to, library lets you cycle through drawing 2 cards and also discarding a card, and this can be activated during your turn and your opponent's turn, which is absolutely insane. But then to top that off, they also have a few other new cards like Genta over here. You discard it to add gates, so the deck has insane more consistency. And to top that off, you're going to be able to loop your opponent's hand, even after a Nibiru, looping your opponent and getting easily 5 negates. Like an easy 5 negates is what you can actually pull off. Not counting like if you draw skill drain. This deck is just broken overpowered, really, is what it comes down to. And the reason why is because it has insane consistency. Now, obviously going second in Dark World, depending on what you match up against, if they just have something like Dark Law, yeah, I understand. It's a GG pretty much. But Dark World can play out of a lot of things because they can set skill drain and just try to follow up with the second turn as long as they don't get OTK'd. But you can maybe stall out with some of like the danger stuff just to get extra cards. So that's another like option too, depending on the matchup. But watch what happens. So basically what it comes down to, obviously the brand new graph is basically another negation. It changes the effect to make it so your opponent discards a card so you can get an extra bonus effect, right? So watch what happens over here with this play. So he still has 4 cards left because remember, we already saw him actually activate the effect of Nibiru. Now, Coach King is going to be seeing so much play in this deck. It's actually pretty busted, but this is what makes it broken overpowered, is being able to Ceruli your opponent over here. So obviously, yeah, Ceruli, very good card. If you give it to your opponent, you discard 1, you discard Silva. That makes it so Silva is going to knock 2 cards out of their hand. It doesn't like discard them. It actually puts him back into the deck, which is probably the best effect in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because if you threw him in the graveyard, they might get an effect, right? But then he's going to go ahead and actually go for Security Dragon, bouncing back the Ceruli over here, and is going to be able to change it Chupacabra and go for that effect. He's going to go ahead and go for a Bigfoot, and then go and make a extra 4 negations off of the Bow of the Goddess over here. And then now he's going to Ceruli again, and obviously, since you can bounce back the cards for Grapha, you're going to always have an extra Silva here. He goes for Silva with Ceruli's effect, and he's going to knock the rest of the cards out. So basically, we've looped our opponent. They have no cards in hand. We have a Bow of the Goddess that has 4 negates. This is 5 negates. Your opponent literally has 1 card to draw into, and on top of that, well, technically, they draw 1, they have Ceruli. Like, it's not going to really do too much. And a Masquerena, and if you had another skill drain to follow this up, I mean, it's basically GG at that point. But let me go ahead and show you guys maybe the deck going second against, let's say, Mr. Rune. Mr. Rune is an archetype that's all about banishing stuff, right? That's pretty much what the deck is. This guy's gonna basically have over half of his deck banished, and watch what happens. Obviously, with cards like Desires, yeah, you're gonna be banishing a lot of cards as well. But Dark World just wants to run as much draw power. They basically want to power the game for turn 1 plays, but they can still kind of play grinding games. Obviously, Grapha recycling itself every single turn is super annoying. Plus, the brand new Grapha can be quite annoying to deal with as well. I think what it comes down to is having the extra consistency for gates makes the deck so much better, and then tossing a Dark into the graveyard just instantly with Genta to have an extra target right there for any other bonus effects can be great. He actually makes Phoenix, but it doesn't matter that's effects negated, and also banishing cards, like look how many cards he's banished. Obviously the face down ones are going to be from the effect of Desires, but still, like, basically everything is gone. Now, Avarice, I would say, is a pretty win harder card. I'm not sure if I would consider that like necessary in the deck, since you also have Library, but I'll show you guys multiple builds. Shout out to Double Helix for this one, and big shout out to my homie Riv for hooking me up with the other gameplay for the videos here, because again, I heard a lot of people talking about Dark Worlds being OP recently, and I didn't see it because I actually covered the deck before Library, but now after Library, with the ability to make Coach King every single turn, and you can OTK very, very easy. I mean, obviously Graphic can pop stuff very easy as well, so you usually usually can end up maybe potentially with a open board, or if there's no open board, you can obviously have a bunch of monsters just to swing into everything, which is quite easy for the deck to do. Now, like I mentioned before, you can even run Skill Drain in the deck. Coach King is very, very good as well. But yeah, this card, obviously, it needs no introduction. It's probably seen a lot of play in Master Duel, and you guys have seen it. But specifically, being able to get free extra cards is pretty good. And if this card is banished and you control a Dark World card, you can also special summon Genta. This also allows you access to have easy things to banish, therefore getting a card so you can bounce back for Grapha. And it allows you to make Coach King very, very easy in the deck because Grapha, yeah, it's a pretty good card, right? So we're going to go ahead and see those activate their effects over there. And he's going to bounce back Grapha because Grapha's effect, yeah, you can keep on just going for it again and again. And then this King Giant Trainer, I think maybe on the contender. Do you guys think this card should be banned? I mean, it's literally draw 3 because the cards that you use to make it are Grapha, and that's basically free anyways, right? You summon a card, you bounce it back, so you're not even going minus with it, and then you just get out the card. So this basically becomes a draw 3 for free. It's better than Powder Reed. Plus, it has a decent amount of attack. It's 2,800. But you can't conduct your battle phase to turn you activate it, but obviously you go turn 1, you burn them for a little bit of damage. The damage that you deal is like very mediocre. But still 2,400 points of damage is better than nothing, right? Sometimes it could be the difference between winning and losing a game, especially against maybe Dinomorphia. You start lowering their life points before they lower their life points even more, and it could be GG as well. Or maybe later down the line you make it and you burn for the 800 and then it's game anyways. But look at this. He's even made a Blackluster Soldier of Chaos over here with the bonus effect, because again, you basically have free like link fodder. Look at this, we already Coach Kinged with the triple level 8s, and look how many more we have. 4 more level 8s and extra negation here. I mean, you could go for a lot of different things. I don't know if I would make this. I just think Bow of the Goddess is just better. Now, in this instance, his opponent does have an extra card, 1 piece, you know, he even Ash Blossoms, but that doesn't really matter. You're still getting the draw 2, which activates during your turn and your opponent's turn. So that's effectively going through like one rotation, right, where it's your turn and your opponent's turn. That's 4 extra cards. Come on, like what other archetype lets you do that? And on top of that, because it needs an extra bonus effect, right, you can discard 1 and then they all gain attack equal to the discard monster's level times 100. So if you get rid of like an 8 as plus 800 stats on everything until the end of this turn. That effect is mediocre, but it's usually just used for the draw power. But it's just like Dark World is looking really, really good. And I don't know if we're gonna get any more support. I think at the moment it's already broken OP. If we get any like more support, this deck is looking really good, guys, and it's coming out very soon. But I'll give you guys a brief little rundown, a couple little different deck profiles here, courtesy of player over here, as well as the other players here. But I just want to go over, I'm going to mouse over the cards real quick. I'll include the one-click download via the Discord, but I'll mouse over them real quick just in case there's some things we should mention. I don't know if we got to see reasoning in the gameplay, but obviously just activated. There's nothing too special with that. But yeah, Drag Down specifically, I feel like it's just one of the most OP cards. I mean, we don't have Trap Does Shoot anymore. I'm an OG Yu-Gi-Oh player. Confiscation, like, there's a very few cards that let you like check out your opponent's hand. Was it Delinquent Duo? This one that you, there's very few cards that let you look at your opponent's hand, and that's because that effect is way too OP, right? In modern Yu-Gi-Oh, being able to that. I'm not sure how I feel about Desires and or Avarice, and depending on how many cards you play. I mean, Avarice is definitely a win harder card, but if you run a bunch of the Dangers, which is pretty popular in most builds to run Dangers, I could see it definitely seeing some play, but it definitely can be in your benefit to maybe run something that can disrupt a monster effect that like banishes everything. There's also Shifter. This card is definitely going to see much more play, the Dimension Shifter, because yeah, activating this as a quick effect, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. People will definitely be side decking this card, and like that, this card can auto win against Dark Worlds, but Dark World is still broken OP in the sense where like it's insanely consistent, man. It really is good. But anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts on Dark World. Did I change your mind if you didn't think it was OP? Because I didn't think it was OP, but after checking out, and I got more gameplay to share with you guys, but it's like an introduction to the brand new Dark World stuff, because library makes a huge difference in the deck, considering, well, you just get to go ahead and have that banish, and then Snow is just so good. It just lets you what is it, you can target one monster and you get the bonus effect. But yeah, this card is so freaking good, and the archetype is really looking better. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the gameplay, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh videos in the future, and more Dark World stuff because it's coming out very soon. Anyways, take care, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.